Right here, Xero sent me a new pair of their Terraflex 2 hiking shoes. These are an update on the original Terraflex. These kind of remind me of their new Daylight Hiker Fusion, kind of with the abrasion-resistant material. These seem like they would be pretty protective, you know, hiking against rocks and all kinds of things like that, and brush and stuff. The lugs on these things are spaced out really substantially. They seem like they would give a lot of good traction in mud and, you know, loose dirt and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to being able to try these out in that. The rubber seems pretty grippy. Seems like the sole would be pretty protective against rocks and stuff. It has some embedded trail foam in there to help you protect against you know, sharper rocks and roots and things like that out when you're hiking too. And it does have, of course, the usual removable insole. But I'm gonna get these out on the trail more, do some hiking in them, let you guys know what I think. First impression, looking at them, they seem like they'll be pretty effective. So looking forward to trying that out. I'm taking these Terraflex 2 out on their maiden hiking voyage. I've been hiking with them a little bit. It's a little bit damp out here on the mountain trail today. Got a little bit of rain this morning, and it's even sprinkling a little bit now, but it'll be some good condition to check them out in. Getting a little bit in the wet leaves and mud and see how they handle that. I've been hitting some rocks, some sharp roots, really laying down the pressure and kind of walking and jogging and doing a little trail running on these, and they really do you know, take the sting out of that stuff pretty well. They have a lot of protection and enough cushion while still remaining a you know, decent bit of ground feel. You still feel the shoes flex and conform around things, and you get a feel for what's under you, but it damps it a little bit. So if you know, hit some of this stuff at higher speed and force or whatever, you're going to get some pretty good protection out of these soles, it seems like. The tread and lug patterns on these things grip real well in this kind of wet, thicker, denser mud and dirt and stuff, and they can see they don't really get stuff caught in them because they're spaced so wide apart. You still maintain that grip and traction with the lug, so that's kind of a neat design. And to show some more about the lugs and everything, again, they don't get a lot of stuff caught up in them. You can go through all kinds of muck and still retain the traction on those without them getting clogged up. And one thing that really strikes me is like how comfortable these are right away. Even haven't had to break them in or anything, and the uppers here are real flexible and soft, and the sole feels still really flexible, but not I mean, it doesn't give you that like ultra barefoot feel. There's definitely you know, a little more cushion with the trail foam in here, but not overly so. Like, I still feel like I have plenty of freedom and feel on the trail without them, you know, being like overly damped or anything, but enough to get good protection, which I think you would kind of want, you know, if you're trail running and hitting a lot of, like, you know, rooty, rocky things like that, and even walking on like gravel and some of that stuff, and bigger stones and stuff. It's kind of nice to have a little bit of protection. So yeah, overall I'm pretty happy, pretty pleased with these. They'd be definitely a good, sturdy, I think, well protected hiking shoe. And honestly, for the most part, I kind of prefer hiking shoes over boots, just for that extra ankle freedom and stay a little cooler. Where I'm at's a little bit in the south is, you know, a little bit more warm overall throughout the year. But like I have some of the boots that are really nice when it gets colder, but most of the time I like to wear hiking shoes, and these seem really solid, and they don't look too bad either, actually. Give them a quick splash water test. Well, actually that's staying drier than I thought it would. Oh well, I mean, you can see all that is like really wet in there in the mesh, but I actually took my sock off in case it got real wet, or so I could actually feel it better too. But even pressing down, I'm not actually feeling the water in those, so they actually, I guess, are pretty water resistant. My foot feels completely dry still. Wow, I'm impressed. I didn't actually know they were water resistant like that. So let's give them a little more and see what it takes. I did feel a touch of the water come in there when it came over the tongue. Let's see. I mean, these are soaked, but actually starting to feel a little bit down on the sides of the toes, and then a little bit that ran over there, but they feel a little damp, but I'm surprised at how water resistant they actually were. So, you know, a quick splash, or if you get a little rain on them or something like that, they should be fine. I mean, you're not going to be ideally probably walking through rivers or anything in these anyway, but that's pretty solid, I'd say.